Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
It is great to be a Tigers fan these days. Just about everything going right for the ball club, from sparkling defense to timely hitting and throwing some rock-solid pitching as well. And the Tigers are off to a red-hot start here in 2015. Welcome to Comerica Park. Game 2 in the series featuring the New York Yankees and your Detroit Tigers. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Ron Allen, glad to have you with us here for Game 2 in the series. Great ball game here last night. Well-pitched ball game, Rob. And really, it was a microcosm of this entire season. Timely hitting, everything falling into place.
You know, really everything has been clicking on all cylinders from top to bottom. The moves that David Nabrowski made in the offseason. Brad Ausmus much more comfortable in his second year, and everything is going right on the field, and it starts with that pitching and that defense.
Yeah, you know, you can't win ball games unless you pitch, and the Tigers certainly have been pitching extremely well this year. When you look at some of the categories, really up and down in the major leagues, they have been one of the best staffs. We look at ERA, we look at WHIP, which is under 1, the opponent's batting average, up and down. This lineup here, Rod, this pitching staff has been one of the best.
Well, I think a lot of people out there had an idea the Tigers' pitching rotation would be pretty good, but they didn't think their bullpen would last out. It's still very early, but they played outstanding baseball. They don't have Justin Verlander, but everybody else has stepped up. 5 wins between Green and Simon, and Sanchez even hadn't gotten going yet. So I'm looking forward to the remainder of the season. This team is on a roll right now.
And we'll see if they can keep that roll going here tonight. Game 2 in this series coming up. Also this evening, how about Jose Iglesias? He's been doing it with the bat and the glove. He's been outstanding. Iglesias and the Tigers taking on the Yankees next.
Of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. Ram trucks, guts, glory, Ram. And by Capri Sun, no artificial colors, flavors, or preservatives. Baseball right around the corner tonight. Tigers and Yankees getting set for Game 2 in the series. Stay with us. Lineups, first pitch, coming up next. Square off in Game 2 in the series. The Yankees starting lineup tonight presented by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. It'll be Jacoby Ellsbury leading it off in center field. Brett Gardner will follow, then Alex Rodriguez, Mark Teixeira cleaning up. McCann will catch. Chris Young is on in right field tonight. They've got Headley, Drew, and Petit rounding out their lineup. And they are facing Kyle Lobstein, who is presented tonight by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
And second start of the year for Lobstein. He got a win on April 12th. That was against the Cleveland Indians. He threw 97 pitches in that game in just 5 innings. He'll need to be a little bit more efficient as far as his strikes are concerned tonight.
And we are ready for baseball on a chilly evening here at the ballpark tonight. Tigers and Yanks after the Tigers won Game 1 in the series in impressive fashion last night. They eked out a 2-1 win with some late runs. And now Lobstein set to go to work, and here's the first pitch of tonight's ball game. It's outside 1-0.
And Kyle Lobstein has a fastball that will top out at about 90 miles an hour. He'll also cut the fastball, sink it. He's got a couple different breaking balls and a changeup.
1-0 pitch, a little bit outside. 2 balls, no strikes on Ellsbury. He was 1 out of 4 in the ball game last night.
That wind blowing out the left again here tonight.
Yeah, it was pretty brisk last night. Same story this evening. There's a pop-up back behind the plate, out of play. 2 balls, 1 strike. Jacoby last year batted .271. He hit 16 home runs and stole 39 bags. A nice complement of power and speed.
He's a nice two-way player. And not only does he get it done offensively, but he does a nice job in center field, too.
We saw evidence of that last night. Hey, there's a nice flag down by Cabrera, first base.
Let's take a look at the Tigers starting defense presented by Beaumont Health System. In the outfield, you have Cespedes, Ghost, and J.D. Martinez. In the infield up the middle, Iglesias, Kinsler, Castellanos and Miggy on the corners, and Alex Avila has done a very nice job in catching the majority of Kyle Lobstein's starts. And right at Miggy.
Hard hit ball, but Ellsbury comes up empty. Here is Brett Gardner. He's batting in the 2 slot, and he looks at the ball high. 1-0. Gardner has hit safely in his last 3, including last night's ball game. He was 1 for 4. Lobstein with the 1-0. Inside, backed him out of there. 2 balls, no strikes. Kyle 1-2 last year in the major leagues. He was a 9-game winner down in Toledo prior to being called up by the Tigers last season. Here's a ball that just missed outside. Now he goes 3-0. Brett Gardner, 17 homers last year, stole 21 bases. 3-0 pitch is in there for a strike. So really the top 2 spots in their lineup, Rod, are kind of multi-dimensional players.
They can do a lot of different things. And they can bunt for a base hit. They get lots of infield singles. They can cover a lot of ground defensively.
Here's the 3-1. And that's in for a strike. 3-2 on Gardner.
I guess the only downside is to having a couple of left-handed bats to start off the game is the fact that when you run into a really tough left-handed pitcher, pretty much going to shut him down.
Yeah, no doubt. Here's the 3-2. Just off the plate outside. 1 out, base on balls for the speedy Gardner. Hey, by the way, stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game tonight, we'll select our Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by the 2 for $5 Classic Quarter Pounder with Cheese. So here is Alex Rodriguez now. A-Rod was 0 for 4 last night, but off to a really good start with the bat this year for the Yankees. And Alex not only missed last year because of the suspension, but really most of 2013 as well. And nobody talks about that, Rod. This is about a year and a half away from baseball.
Yeah, and it's really remarkable the fact that he could even come back and be as successful as he has been here the first couple of weeks of the year.
Avila blocks that one. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He had a difficult time with the Simon split-fingered fastballs yesterday, but most of the New York Yankees did. And most guys like an Alex Rodriguez, for instance, a guy that misses that much time the last couple of years, it's going to take a while before you get the timing to hit the breaking balls. Fastball's no problem right now for Alex.
A-Rod sends one high in the air to center field. A lot of room out there for Anthony Gose. All the way to the warning track. A-Rod just missed that one. 2 gone.
I really love the way that Anthony Gose gets himself into position, even on routine fly balls. He's not going to give that base runner an opportunity to take an extra base on him. He's always on his toes out there.
So with 2 outs, here is Mark Teixeira, who was 1 for 4 last night and responsible for the only Yankees run of the night. And
really, when you went back to look at the pitch that he hit out of the ballpark against Simon, it really wasn't that bad a pitch.
No, otherwise he throws a shutout. He basically one-handed the ball out of the ballpark. Teixeira, switch hitter. Alfredo Simon last night, fabulous. Here's the 0-1. Instead, he goes back to first base. For Teixeira, a total of 4 home runs this year. He hit 22 of them last season.
Man, there are a lot of guys already this year that are on pace to hit more than 40 home runs.
There's a drive to right field. That's going to go to the corner. This might get a run in. Let's see. JD will dig it out of the corner. Here comes Gardner. They're going to try and score him. Kinsler will hold up the relay. It's a double and an RBI for Mark Teixeira.
Look at a changeup that stayed up right around the letters of Mark Teixeira, and he whistled it down in that right field corner. And Gardner, with all his speed, able to come all the way around from first and score.
Without a throw. So the Yankees grab the 1-0 lead, much like they did last night. They got a run in the 2nd inning last night. Brian McCann, the batter, had a 2-base hit in last night's game, finishing 1 for 3. And McCann looks at ball one away. Big time power in the career of Brian McCann. He was really good in Atlanta when he came up with the Athletics, or with the Braves rather. Here's how they play him defensively. They shift around to the right side. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and it's a ball outside, 2-0. So Lobstein has not come out throwing strikes, that's for sure. In fact, 9 of his 17 have missed the strike zone.
It's the same way that he pitched his last outing against the Cleveland Indians. He did not pitch to a lot of contact. He wasn't in the zone very often.
That's in there, 2-1.
And it's imperative for a guy like Lobstein to work at the knees and throw the ball over the plate. He doesn't have the kind of fastball that if he does fall behind, that he has a lot of confidence in, that he can throw by big league hitters.
Kyle went 5 innings in his first start against Cleveland, gave up 3 runs, all earned, and picked up the win that day. Fouled off at home plate, 2-2. Waiting on deck, Chris Young, who did not play last night. Now McCann waiting on a 2-2. Bouncing ball to short, Iglesias. And McCann is out. That'll end the inning. However, Yankees get a run on the Teixeira double. By your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers tonight, and for Detroit, it is Anthony Gossi and Kinsler and Miguel Cabrera in your top 3 spots. Victor, then J.D. Martinez and Yoenis Cespedes. Castellanos on an 8-game hitting streak. He's playing third base. Avila and Iglesias rounded out for the Tigers, and they are facing the right-handed offerings of Nathan Evola.
He's got a big arm. That much is for sure. He can throw his fastball up to 100 miles an hour. He's got a curve. He's got a slider, also a split-fingered fastball. The key for him is staying out of fastball counts. As you can see, the batting average against him is at 348.
Here is Anthony Gose, who is back in the lineup tonight with the right-hander Evaldi on the mound. It'll be Gose, Kinsler, and Cabrera. The first pitch to Gose is a strike at the knees.
One of the things that you can watch for here tonight is the fact that whether the Tigers score a run or not against Evaldi here in the first inning. He has struggled in the very first inning in his 80-plus career starts.
Bouncing ball back up the middle, going to be a tough play. No play for Gregorio Petit, the second baseman.
Evaldi's numbers in the first inning are nearly 6 as far as the earned run average is concerned. Let's take a look at the New York Yankees starting defense, brought to you by Tim Hortons. Gardner, Ellsbury, and Young in the outfield, Drew and Petit up the middle, Headley, Teixeira on the corners, and Brian McCann second consecutive game here tonight.
We'll bring up Ian Kinsler now. Tigers have the tying run on. Eovaldi is out of Houston, Texas. He is 25 years of age.
Born in Alvin, Texas. Nolan Ryan was also from Alvin, Texas.
That's right. Nolan Ryan used to bring the fastball in the upper 90s.
Eovaldi has thrown the hardest pitch of the year. 101. He threw a fastball a couple of starts ago. Last time the Yankees had a pitcher that threw a pitch 100 miles an hour, you got to go back to 2007 when Jabba Chamberlain was wearing their uniform.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
0-1 on Kinsler. Boy, Jabba got a big out last. They got 2 big outs.
Huge out.
Double play ball late in the game.
You know by now, Ghost is a threat to steal.
Eovaldi's fastball sits around 95, almost 96 on average. Here's the 0-1. No balls, 2 strikes. Hey, by the way, if the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to a selected Arby's location tomorrow. Some of them are participating, and you'll get a free small order of curly fries. We need 3 Tigers home runs for that to happen.
Usually not a smart count to run in when it's no balls and 2 strikes against a hitter, but Eovaldi's been throwing a lot of breaking balls in these counts. And if he does throw a breaking ball, McCann, the catcher, will have no shot at throwing Anthony Ghost out at second base.
Anthony this year has tried 2 stolen bases, and he's been caught once.
Yeah, one of his steals was a delayed steal.
The 0-2 is a pitch out. So the Yankees were thinking that he might be going.
They could back-to-back pitch out here if they want to.
1-2 on Kinsler. Ian's starting to perk up again. Another 2-hit game in the opener last night.
A couple of managers here tonight, Girardi and Brad Ausmus, former catchers.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Kinsler at 321. Eovaldi ready with the 2-2. And it's a ground ball to short. This has double play written all over it. 2 gone as Kinsler bounces into the 6-4-3.
A couple of fastballs at 96, 97 that Eovaldi threw to Kinsler. Then he hung up a breaking ball with 2 strikes. And Kinsler hit it right on the screws, but he hit it right at Stephen Drew, their shortstop. If Eovaldi continues to hang that breaking ball like that, the Tigers are going to score a few runs here today.
Here is Cabrera now with the bases empty. Miggy batting an even .400 this year. A couple of home runs. And that slides in for a strike. 0-1. Cabrera bounced into 2 double plays in last night's ballgame.
Yeah, he grounded out to the left side of the infield in 3 of his at-bats in last night's game.
A rare off night for Miggy. That one is hit hard to left field. It's going to be caught on the run, though, by Gardner. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. We've got an inning in the books tonight.
By Meyer. You can enter at www.foxsportsdetroit.com to be eligible to win a fantastic prize pack that any baseball fan would love. Kyle Lobstein back to the hill as we go to the top of the second. Chris Young will start things off for the Yankees. 1-0. Yanks have the lead on the RBI double by Mark Teixeira.
And Chris Young already with 3 homers. One of those a grand slam.
We were talking last half inning about how a lot of guys are on pace to hit 40 home runs this year, which is really kind of a departure from what we've seen recently.
Last few years, I think Nelson Cruz of the Baltimore Orioles was the only player in the major leagues to have 40 home runs last year.
Right. And Nelly's off to a red-hot start with 8.
Well, he's on pace for 60 this year, but there's a lot of guys in baseball that are on pace for better than 40 home runs this year.
I will put this in some kind of context for you. Luis Valbuena of Houston has 5 home runs this year, so he's not a home run hitter. Here's the 2-1 pitch. A little bit outside. 3 balls, 1 strike to Chris Young. Chase Headley, Stephen Drew to follow here in the second. Now the 3-1. Popped up foul back out of play.
Chris Young's always had a lot of power. Outstanding center fielder when he came up in the White Sox organization before being traded to the Arizona Diamondbacks. Hit 32 homers one year for the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, he had some really, really interesting seasons in terms of power and speed. And he takes ball 4. Lobstein issuing the walk. Second of the ball game now for Kyle. That'll bring up Chase Headley. Headley has hit safely in 3 in a row. He had a couple of hits in last night's contest, batting .260. Skies this one foul, first base side. Miggy giving chase, and the wind just pulled it way back. It looked like he was headed to the seats, and the wind had other ideas.
Was a brisk pace as far as the wind is concerned, blowing back toward left field. So you got to stay with everything today.
You're chuckling over there.
I'm wondering where Ian was.
0-1. Chase Headley. You might notice these days that Lobstein is wearing goggles. He used to wear contacts, but they bothered him too much. He's gone to the goggles now, which is a little bit more comfortable for him.
A little bit more stylish, too.
Absolutely. And in the end, isn't that all that counts?
You got it.
Foul straight back, 0-2. Headley with 7 RBIs this year. The Yankees acquired him from San Diego last season. They liked the job he did so much they signed him to a 4-year deal in December.
And San Diego squad off to a pretty nice start, 9-5 in the National League West.
I think that was kind of expected, don't you think, with all the moves they made in the offseason?
Yeah, they did a nice job at retooling that roster. They were dead last in runs scored last year from an offensive standpoint. They won't be anywhere close to last this year.
Tigers have 11 wins this year, the most in the majors. Here's the 1-2. Broken bat.
Tigers pitching this year has just been stellar. Been about 8 games where the opposition has scored 1 or fewer runs against Detroit pitching.
Well, and they're doing all of this, as you touched on in our open tonight, without Justin Verlander, which is a really good thing to see.
And Anibal Sanchez is off to a slow start.
Very true.
It's starting to rain again here.
No, don't say that.
Where'd it come from?
And it is starting to mist. That's more than a mist. Here's the 1-2. Instead, it'll go back to first base.
Big day downtown tonight. Red Wings playing as well. Was the 3rd game against the Tampa?
Game 3 tonight at the Joe against the Lightning. Marlins already up 1-0. Here's the 1-2. Fouled straight back. So with the rain falling now here in Comerica, temperature is about 50 degrees. The wind is howling. Less than ideal for the players and fans alike, who are all bundled up tonight. I'm happy to report here in the booth it's 70 degrees.
Shane Green is always bundled up.
Now the 1-2. Fouled straight back.
Yeah, the last couple of pitches to Chase Headley, not really good pitches by Lobstein. I mean, the double play is in order. Headley doesn't have good speed. You have to work at the bottom of the strike zone if you want that ground ball, not up in the strike zone where at least 4 of the 5 pitches that he's thrown to Headley have been. Good changeup, good breaking ball, get that ground ball and allow your infielders to do what they do best.
This time within 2 balls, 2 strikes. So the one thing Lobstein really wants to start doing now is getting that ratio back in order. He has just thrown too many out of the strike zone.
His first day that Avila's caught in the last 4 days. James McCann caught 3 days in a row. How about that throw he made last night to throw out Jacoby Ellsbury?
Here's the 2-2. That throw last night by McCann was Pudge Rodriguez-esque.
Very impressive.
A lot of really neat things to watch in that game last night. Aside from the starting pitching, great defensive plays on both ends. McCann had a terrific throw. Two and 2. Young led the inning off for the walk. He's still standing there. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Headley with nobody out. Yankees came in 1 game under the 500 mark. Their record 6-7. The Tigers at 11-2. Another foul back out of play, and it's becoming a very long at bat here for Chase Headley. Nights like this, where it's cold and rainy, pitchers are allowed by the umpires to go to their mouth with their hands to keep them warm.
It appears that this rain is blowing through here rather quickly, though.
Got in on his hands that time, popped it up, and it's going to drop. Kinsler will just flip to second base. They'll get the force there. 1 out.
And Ian Kinsler dropped the ball on purpose, and the reason why he did it, he was hoping that Headley wasn't running down the line, which would have allowed them to possibly get a double play. But if that didn't work, which it didn't, you just simply flip-flop Young for Headley. Young is much faster than Headley is, so it's a heads-up baseball play by Ian Kinsler, but that doesn't surprise me.
Look at that rainbow here out beyond the left center field wall.
Tight.
Lights are on here at the ballpark, and the sun trying to peek through. It's been a bizarre start to this one weather-wise. Here is Stephen Drew. Drew batting in the 8th slot. 158 this year, had a sacrifice in last night's ball game, otherwise was 0 for 2. That's in there for a strike.
And Didi Gregorius has been their shortstop every single game this year, but he is struggling from an offensive standpoint, their young shortstop. And Joe Girardi giving him a day off his feet. And a lot of times those days are very valuable for young players. Just kind of sit back and just kind of watch for a day when you're scuffling out of the gate.
1 ball, 1 strike. He's got Petit playing second base tonight. Drew shifting over to the shortstop position.
And Gregorius has huge shoes to fill. Not only is he replacing a legend in Derek Jeter, who was their shortstop and their captain, he's on a new team. And Joe Girardi can tell him as much as he wants to not to press. We know you're not going to replace Derek Jeter, but it's just bound to happen. Young player like that pressing.
Yeah, and it's not happening in Milwaukee or Cleveland or anywhere else. It's happening in New York, which has another extra layer of pressure. The 1-1. A little bit outside, and again, Lobstein falling behind.
It's a dangerous count here for Lobstein, a guy that doesn't have an overpowering fastball. And now if you're Drew, you're sitting on that 88-mile-per-hour four-seam fastball.
And it's ripped to right field. Headley will go to second and stop there. The Yankees have something going now with 1 out. It'll bring up the second baseman, Gregorio Petit. He'll bat with 2 men on, and here is the breakdown now for Lobstein. You can see the ratio not all that good. He has thrown a total of 40 in this game.
Really no problem for Brad Ausmus if he has to dip into his bullpen quite a bit tonight. And David Price is pitching tomorrow for the Tigers, and usually when David goes out there, he's good for 8 innings, so no problem as far as the bullpen is concerned.
Swing and a miss. Not to mention, all they used last night was Jabba Chamberlain and Joakim Soria. So the pen in great shape. Two guys that have been on point this year, Price and Green. It has popped up right side of the infield. Kinsler back to the grass. 2 gone. Hey, Sunday, April 26th, the Tigers battle the Indians at 108. Come early for a special on-field salute to Tigers great Sweet Lou Whitaker. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. Lou will always be connected with Alan Trammell, and rightly so. They were a dynamite double play combination, but Lou was a great player in his own right.
And he was a superb fastball hitter.
So with 2 outs, here is Jacoby Ellsbury. Lobstein attempting to pitch out of a jam here in the second. And he throws ball 1. Ellsbury hit the ball hard his first time up to start the game. A line drive that Miggy caught at first base. The 1-0. Pulled on the ground to second. That'll get him out of this inning. Nicely done by Lobstein. The 4-3 ground out ends the inning for the Yankees. They'll strand 2. the Bernstein advantage brings you the pitcher-batter matchup, and the Tigers will have the Bernstein advantage and did last season against guys that have an average fastball of 95 or more. Check this out. They batted .277, and that's where Eovaldi stands here. His fastball is in that range.
That's one of the things that we talk about regarding a lot of these Tigers hitters. Guys that throw 95 and above, four-seam fastballs, they really don't bother these Tiger hitters.
Victor Martinez will stand in against the right-hander Eovaldi.
But it's guys like CC Sabathia in the way that he was working last night.
Bouncer back up the middle, and Martinez is out.
With all of his breaking balls and changeups, really kept the Tigers off balance. CC was really good last night.
Yeah, different looking CC Sabathia.
It doesn't appear that it's really going to be that much of a transition for CC going from a guy that used to throw 98, 99 to a guy that really works around 89 to 92, because he's always had really good secondary pitches.
J.D. Martinez was 1 for 3 with an RBI single last night.
Big hit for J.D.
That base hit came in the 8th inning after they had intentionally walked Victor Martinez. Strike one. It was RBI number 11 for J.D., which ties him with Cespedes for the team lead. Checked it, missed it outside. Martinez still second in the American League with his 5 home runs. Shot toward right field, slicing over, and it's going to drop. Base hit right in front of Chris Young. 1-out single. Hey, Saturday Major League Baseball returns to Fox Sports 1, starting with an AL Central battle. The Indians taking on your Tigers in a game that can be seen only on Fox Sports 1. Then it's the return of the Subway Series. Yankees battle the Mets. Coverage begins at 12:30 Eastern on America's home for baseball every Saturday. Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
I know it's early. There's a lot of baseball to be played this year, but there's a couple of teams in the Central, boy, that are burying themselves by falling way behind the Tigers, and the Indians are one of those teams. They're already 6.5 games back, 2 weeks into this season.
4-8 is their record. And you're right. I mean, when you have a team in the division that's gotten off to an 11-2 start, you better at least find a way to tread water. And the Indians have not done that. Royals, however, continue to play pretty good. They're right behind the Tigers. Right back to the mound on a line drive, and they'll get the double play.
It's a good thing that he's got a Gold Glover over at first base to share it, to bail him out.
Valdi just threw the glove out, threw it in the dirt, but they'll get the double play to end the inning.
That ball was drilled by Castellanos.
Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire.
play by Eovaldi, who rushed his throw back over to first base to double off. And J.D. Martinez, but a real nice pick by their first baseman, Mark Teixeira.
That thing was an absolute rocket, and it looked like it just happened to land in his glove. Here's Lobstein going back to work. And he throws a strike to Brett Gardner. Top three here at the ballpark, 1-0. Yankees a run on 2 hits. Tigers no runs, 2 hits.
And Lobstein now 7 of 11 in first pitch strikes to the Yankees hitters so far this evening.
1-1. Lobstein surrendering the RBI double to Teixeira in the first inning. That's in there. 1-2 on Brett Gardner.
Real nice bender there. 73 miles an hour thrown by Lobstein. And you can't locate it any better than that. At the knees on the black outside.
Swing and a miss. Gardner is taken care of. 1 out. Here's our T-Mobile game changer with Alex Rodriguez coming to the plate. Well, he's starting to climb those lists. He's been a game changer his entire career. He is 2 home runs shy of Willie Mays for 4th all time on the homer list. Barry Bonds leads the way at 762. Then Hammer and Hank and the Babe. Alex flying to center field his first time up, hit it deep, but not deep enough. Ball 1 to Rodriguez. 0 for 5 in the series now. Lobstein's 1-0. Swing and a miss.
Lobstein is pitching to Alex the same way that Alfredo Simon did last night, showing him the fastball and then simply going to softer stuff to get him to swing and miss.
Checked it. Did he go? Yes. Jerry Davis. All bundled up. One ball, 2 strikes. And the longest tenured current Yankee, Alex Rodriguez, 39 years old. The 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
There's not many guys in the big leagues that have the same kind of longevity that Alex Rodriguez has enjoyed.
Been around a long time. Started his major league career as an 18-year-old.
He got 20 years in.
Here's the 2-2. 3-2 now on A-Rod. The crowd gets a little bit extra pumped up on every pitch when A-Rod's up there. He has run the count full at 3-2. Now he's given time. Boo, says the crowd. Here's the 3-2. High pop up. Shallow right field. Kinsler back. Drifting. 2 gone. So Lobstein settling in now. 2 early outs here in the 3rd. That'll bring up Mark Teixeira. Slammed a double to right field his first time up, knocking in Brett Gardner to make it 1-0. And Teixeira batting .209. Off the outside part of the plate, 1-0.
And getting off to a slow start, really nothing unusual for Mark Teixeira. And from a batting average standpoint. But his power numbers aren't bad to start the first 2 weeks of the season this year. He's already homered 4 times and he's driven in 10 runs.
Earlier this year, you might recall the Yankees and Red Sox played a 19-inning game, and Teixeira played all 19 innings.
Ugh.
It's a long day. Here's the 3-0. That's it, 3-1.
As a matter of fact, tonight's starter for the New York Yankees, Nathan Eovaldi, he started that game that went 19 innings.
3-1 pitch. Lost it, ball 4. 2-out base on balls.
You don't really worry about walking to share with 2 outs when you've got the left-hander Brian McCann standing in the on-deck circle. You can kind of maneuver your way through the lineup tonight. If you're Lobstein, you can choose to pitch to Alex Rodriguez or not, because Joe Girardi has so many left-handers in his lineup.
Brian McCann stepping in now with the shift on for the Tigers to the right side of the infield. And he drops down a bunt. Third base side, Lobstein off to make the play.
Why with 2 outs?
Had no idea, but that's the end of the inning.
1 out, no out, I can get that, but not with 2 outs.
He'll go to the bottom of the third. 1-0 New York. Game, which is in the first intermission with the Wings on top by a score of 1-0.
You know, we're starting to see a lot of left-handers do exactly as Brian McCann did here. When you have the overshift in the infield, as the Tigers are overshifting him here, guys that bat left-handed are taking the liberty of trying to bunt for base hits. The fact of the matter is here, there's already 2 outs, and you're a guy like Brian McCann. You can find the gaps to drive in the base runner versus bunting into an out.
Meanwhile, Lobstein jumped off the mound, made the play. All of a sudden, the inning's over. Eovaldi back to the hill. Castellanos leads it off for the Tigers, and he sends a ground ball into right field. Base hit. Landon played to pull, and Nick goes the other way.
Eovaldi has over 80 major league starts, but he's only won 15 games, and he's lost 35. And for a guy that throws as hard as he throws, and Miami really couldn't figure out why he couldn't win a lot of games. And I know Larry Rothschild, who's the pitching coach here in New York, will be challenged to figure out why in the world Eovaldi, with all the stuff he features, just doesn't win more.
Castellanos has picked up a 9-game hitting streak now. Well, it's one of the things I think that the Yankees saw in Eovaldi was his ability with that mid-90s fastball and above, and his walk rate went down last year, even though his velocity is sitting where it is. So I think that they figure, well, we've got a guy that has the tools. Now it's just a matter of refining it.
Just to give you an idea of how rare it is for a guy to be as talented as he is and has had as many starts, over 80 with just 15 wins. The 15 wins are the fewest in Major League history for a guy that has over 80 starts.
Here might be another reason. He received 2.7 runs per game of support last year. That's awfully tough to win that. Alex Avila, the batter. 2 balls, no strikes. Leadoff man on. Tigers down by a run here in the third. Late swing back into the seats. MGM Grand Detroit brings you the scouting report on the velocity, the fastball velocity of Nathan Eovaldi. 95.7 miles per hour since the start of 2013. And there are the average fastballs in the list, and Eovaldi's right up at the top. So he can bring it. Avila batting 182. They play him to pull. Strike call.
That's good fastball there by Eovaldi at 95 on the outside black. All Avila could do was watch it go by. A guy throwing as hard as Eovaldi's throwing here tonight really shouldn't be a problem for Avila to hit something down the third baseline. At least attempt to do so.
Foul back. Alex, the start tonight behind the plate with the right-hander on the mound. McCann had seen the bulk of the action last 3 days he started. James gets the night off tonight. On the infield, play to pull. In the outfield, straight up. Drill to center field. That's going to drop. Base hit. Castellanos will go to second and stop there. And the Tigers have runners at first and second. Nobody out. Hey, just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game. It is brought to you as always by Miller Lite.
And Tigers have the bunt in order here. Runners on first and second. Nobody out. The guy in the batter's box can handle the bat, Jose Iglesias. And if Jose is up there bunting, he needs to bunt the ball down toward third base. You want Headley, the third baseman, to come and make the play.
First really good scoring opportunity for the Tigers. Iglesias is up there with 2 men on. No sign of bunt, and he whistles that one foul. Iglesias with one sacrifice this year, but he is leading the league in hitting. 439. Way outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Eovaldi gave up a single in the first, a single in the second. And now 2 base hits here in the third. Bouncing ball to second, might be 2. Petit to Drew in the relay. Safe at first base.
Iglesias gets down the line rather quickly. A nice feed from Petit to Drew, but Iglesias able to beat it out.
That'll put him at first and third with 1 out, and it brings up the top of the lineup. Anthony Gose. Singled in the first inning. And that's going to push Gose's average up over 400 to 414. He shows bunt. Ball 1. Eventually the averages will come back to normal levels for Gose and even Iglesias, but man, they are continuing to ride their bats. As you look at the breakdown on Eovaldi. Tigers have the tying run at third, the go-ahead run at first base. Ghost now 3 out of 6 on the homestand. We've seen Rajay Davis play quite a bit on this homestand. Outside. 2-0.
Well, if you're Ghost, you're pretty much guaranteed you're going to get a fastball here in this particular count from Eovaldi. And 90% of the time, 2-0, he will give the hitter a fastball, left-handed or right-handed batter.
Fouled it off. Came in at 97.
Yeah, that's the hardest fastball he's thrown tonight. Reached back to get a little extra.
Eovaldi goes 6'2", 215, born in Houston. 25 years old. Marlins got him along with Garrett Jones, or I should say the Yankees from the Marlins. Gave up David Phelps and Martin Prado. Missed again. 3-1 on Ghost.
By and large, the Yankees have a very young rotation with the exception of CC Sabathia. He is 34. And the other members of the rotation, 26 years or younger.
Bouncing ball to first. Teixeira is going to run the runner back down the line at third. Now McCann. And will miss the tag. Nope, they got the tag on Castellanos. Iglesias able to get to third base. And lead him at second and third now with 2 outs. And bring up Kinsler.
Smart play by Mark Teixeira with Ghost running down the first baseline. More than likely, they weren't going to turn 2 even though the ball was hit sharp. And Castellanos simply stays in the rundown long enough for the other base runners to get themselves into second and third.
Now a Kinsler base hit could give the Tigers the lead. He in batting .368 with men in scoring position. He bounced into a 6-4-3 double play his first time up. Eovaldi missing inside. Another fastball. That one at 96 from the right-hander. Here's the 1-0. Soft pop up back to second. Going to be caught by Petit, and the Tigers are turned back. No runs, 2 hits, 2 men left, 3 in the books tonight from Comerica Park. Yankees on top in Game 3 by a score of 1-0.
3 home runs, 7 ribbies, despite an average under 180. 1-0. Now, most people look at this Tigers team and say, well, the offense is the reason that they've gotten off to a great start at 11-2. But Brad Ausmus said it's really been the pitching. He said our pitching has been outstanding. He said, I know what our hitters are, but we are where we are because of our pitching. I mean, 2 pitchers they acquired during the offseason, Alfredo Simon and then Shane Green, who came over in the 3-way deal that netted the Yankees D.D. Gregorius. They're each 3-0. So right there, those 2 have meant the world. Justin Verlander hasn't even pitched yet. There's a strike.
Guys are filling in from your stars, and they're filling in well. You don't have to rush those guys. I mean, you wait completely until he feels good. Justin Verlander said just throw a number out there, you know, May, middle of May, possibly June, who knows, but he might be, you know, better off throwing 3 or 4 months instead of the, you know, the complete season. Might be what his arm needs.
Fly ball right field. J.D. Martinez puts it away, and that'll go for the Yankees in the 4th. No runs a hit because of the double play. Nobody left on base. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. It's 1-0 Yankees.
Tigers face the Indians at 1:08 in the 21st annual Negro Leagues tribute game. The first 10,000 fans receive a Detroit Stars scarf. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com.
You could use one of them scarves tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. Although the rain has cleared out, that's good. There's Miguel Cabrera to lead things off against Nathan Eovaldi. Miggy lined out his first time up to the left fielder. And Eovaldi backs him out of there, 1-0. Eovaldi has that little bit of a hesitation as well. He kind of hides the ball behind his body when he brings it in. Adding to the intrigue for the hitter. That's fouled straight back, 1-1.
I was watching some video on him last night, and I was trying to remember who he kind of reminds me of, and I came up with Carl Pavano.
That's a good one.
That delivery kind of reminds me of the delivery that Pavano had. Pavano used to be a guy that threw 95, 96 too. Not the same Pavano that Tigers fans know when he was pitching for the Minnesota Twins and he was only right around 90, but he used to be a guy that was in the mid-90s.
Two balls, one strike on Cabrera.
And Miggy might just be sitting on one of them off-speed pitches here.
Bouncing ball into center field, base hit. Leadoff man on.
We're going to make that our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. Eovaldi throws 96, 97. And we've told you all about that, but he knocks Miggy off the plate, and he comes back with another fastball. Then he changes his eye level with one up before getting in on Miggy, but Miggy's strong enough to beat the shift with a knock right back up the middle.
So the Tigers have put the leadoff man on for the third time in 4 innings.
But his hand paid the price for it. On a cold night, the worst thing to do is to get jammed as a hitter.
Now Martinez, who bounced out on his first at bat. Eovaldi has been pitching from the stretch a lot tonight. And it's in there, a strike, 0-1. Still have the shift on against Martinez, who is batting left-handed, which is good news. The Tigers were contemplating just having him bat right-handed against left-handed pitching, but apparently he's feeling good enough to go up there lefty against the righty.
Yeah, that's what Brad said today. Said Victor told him he felt good.
Next question was, would you consider having him bat right-handed against a right-handed pitcher? And Brad said no. That was not part of the plan. The knee for Martinez that is an issue is his left knee, which is his load leg, so to speak, in the batter's box. So it bothers him a little bit more batting lefty. That'll miss low, 1-2.
Here's Victor's splits in his career. Batting above 300 left-handed and right-handed, which is awfully rare. And for a guy to have that much success with the batting average, that's a switch hitter.
Two is fouled back right on his hands. Martinez hit a ball last night. It looked like it was going to be a 2-base hit up the alley in right center that Ellsbury made a great play on.
Ellsbury made a really nice play last night. So did their left fielder, Gardner. Tigers were flashing leather all over the spot, too.
The 1-2 is outside, and Martinez lays off. 2-2. There's JD waiting on deck. Eovaldi ended last year losing his last 8 consecutive decisions. Looking for his first win this year as well. Fouled away.
Yeah, I think the Miami Marlins probably had enough. Yes, very talented, but for whatever reason, it just wasn't winning enough games.
Can a different pitching coach, a different message make a difference sometimes?
Yes, it can. Especially when you have a pitching coach that's as respected as the Yankees pitching coach, Larry Rothschild.
Two and two. Miggy was about a step off the bag and just simply turned it and walked to first base. He's aboard with the leadoff single here in the 4th. 1-0. Yankees have the lead. And the Tigers now have 5 hits. Three and two.
This particular count right here, 3 balls, 2 strikes, as we get a look at how close that 7th pitch of this at bat was to Victor. 3-2 counts with Victor in the batter's box. Last year, Brad Ausmus had no problem starting the base runner. We'll see what he wants to do here tonight with Victor in the batter's box. Victor does not strike out very often, so if he does start Miggy, it should be an issue.
There he goes, and it's grounded foul just outside of the bag at third. Whoa, was that close?
Tony Randazzo, he was right there all over it.
That thing was hugging the line all the way down, and then it just took a left turn right at the end. Three and two, the count stays on Martinez. Tigers got a leadoff single in the first, one in the third, and now one here in the fourth. Now again, Eovaldi with the 3-2. Runner goes. Bouncing ball foul. So Martinez now has worked a 9-pitch at bat. Number 10 coming up shortly. Crowd starting to get into it a little bit. Walked in, ball four. What an at bat by Victor. He ends up getting a base on balls to put two men on a 10-pitch at bat. That'll bring up J.D. Martinez, not before we get a meeting on the mound. Martinez had himself a single back in the second. JD had been slowed down considerably on this homestand, was 2 for 14 coming in this game. Had a big hit last night, had a chance to provide another big hit tonight. Tipped into the glove for strike one.
Typically, that's exactly what Eovaldi will do with runners in scoring position. He will simply go to the breaking balls to try to get you out. He'll show you the fastball, but it's the breaking ball that he likes to throw when he's pitching in a little stress.
Eovaldi missed the outside corner. Now the count evens in ones.
Boy, he didn't miss by much.
97 again from Eovaldi. Ooh. Easily could have been called a strike. Two on for the Tigers, nobody out. We're in the fourth. And a ground ball foul, 1 ball, 2 strikes. This is what makes navigating through the Tigers lineup so difficult. It seems like batter after batter, there's somebody that can either drive the ball to the gaps or hit it out of the ballpark.
And then when you're trying to go through this core four right here, starting with Miggy and ending with Yoenis Cespedes, it's tough to do. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. JD goes down on strikes, 1 out. And 3 of the 4 pitches that JD Martinez got was the slide piece from Eovaldi, able to get a strikeout. And that is going to be the first strikeout of the night for Eovaldi, and it comes in a huge spot. Now Cespedes, who absolutely hit a rocket right back to the mound in his first at bat. If you're Cespedes, you know that he's going to attack you the same way. He might show you the fastball, but ultimately it's the breaking ball that he's going to throw you at least a couple of times during the course of this at bat. He is hitting .500 with men in scoring position this year. As a result, Cespedes 11 RBIs. Is that good?
That'd be pretty good. 6 for 12 to be exact. It's as good as it gets. Here's the 1-0. Bender that's in for a strike. 1-1 on Cespedes.
First pitch fastball up out of the strike zone at 96. Then he comes back with a breaking ball that Cespedes was kind of cheating for that fastball with his lower half. And he opened up his hits prematurely, which meant that he really could pull the trigger on that hanging breaking ball.
Bouncing ball to short. This is going to be another double play. How about that? He hit hard.
Eovaldi living good.
Yes, he is. And dangerously. 6-4-3. The Sam Bernstein Law Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. Bell Tire, get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Myers, save big with M-Perks from Myers. Sign up at mperks.com. And by Chevrolet, find new roads. Back here at Comerica Park, it is still 1-0 in favor of the Yankees. Eovaldi's had a couple of double plays turned behind him. That last one a big one. And so Kyle Lobstein goes back to the hill as we go to the 5th inning. Gregorio Petit will start things off. Petit, then Ellsbury and Gardner. Yankees tonight have had only 3 hits against Lobstein. They made one of them count, though, the RBI double by Teixeira in the 1st inning.
So they've got a Gregorio and a Gregorius.
That's right. And they both play the same position. Petit popped up. That was back in the 2nd. Now the 0-2. Inside. Back him out of there.
Good pitch. You can double up with another fastball inside if you want to. If you're Lobstein. Even though you don't throw very hard, Petit's not looking for another fastball inside.
Ooh, upheld in that one with foul. Petit was picked up on April 1st from the Houston Astros. Split time between the Houston AAA team and the big club last year. And he waves and misses. Down he goes.
Nice job of pitching by Lobstein. Couple of fastballs inside, followed by a really good changeup fading away from Petit.
2nd strikeout for Lauber. That'll bring up Jacoby Ellsbury. 0 for 2 tonight for Ellsbury, a line out, ground out. And that's it for a strike on Ellsbury. Jacoby does not have a homer or an RBI yet this year. He'll lift that one back out of play 0-2. And his stolen base number is not quite as good as they had hoped they would be at this point. He's a really good base stealer, had 39 last year. But he's been caught stealing in 3 of his last 4 attempts. The 0-2. Often toward left. Cespedes coming on. 2 gone. 0 for 3 night so far for Ellsbury. That'll bring up Brett Gardner. You know, for a team, Rod, that has had a lot of their players come from different organizations like A-Rod and Teixeira and McCann and a couple of others, Ellsbury, I guess. This is one of their homegrown talents that they kind of take a little bit of pride in, Brett Gardner. Came up through their system. Ball high. Gardner earning a new contract last year. And it goes to 2-0. Gardner played hurt last year, had surgery on an abdominal muscle at the end of last season. And again, Lobstein goes outside 3-0. A-Rod waiting on deck. Here's the 3-0 pitch. 3-1. He shows bunt. 3-2 now on Gardner. The full count pitch. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Gardner fans, 3 of them in the ball game for Lobstein, and the Yankees go 1-2-3 in the 5th. You're watching Tigers baseball tonight on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. And just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. It'll be Nick Castellanos to lead it off. Then it's Alex Avila and Jose Iglesias, bottom three, facing Eovaldi here in the 5th inning. Castellanos extending his hitting streak to 9 straight. A single back in the 3rd. That is his longest hitting streak. And he looks at ball 1 inside. Here's the 1-0. Little foul down the right field line. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Eovaldi still throwing that fastball at 97 miles an hour as you look at his numbers so far. He has allowed that first runner to reach in 3 of the 4 innings he has pitched. Yet the Tigers have not been able to take advantage. Now the 1-1. Swing and a miss.
Eovaldi's got that old school wind up. Goes over his head with both hands. And very seldom do you see guys with this many moving parts these days. Wind-ups are a lot simpler than the one Eovaldi uses.
Case in point, David Price.
Yep.
Corey Kluber. They basically take 1 step and that's it.
Here's the wind-up of Eovaldi over the head. Nice balanced position with the left leg until he throws that 96, 97 mile per hour fastball.
Ooh, the bender got him looking.
Ooh, front doored him with the slide piece.
Only the 2nd strikeout for Eovaldi.
He started the breaking ball right at Castellanos. The knees of Castellanos buckled ever so slightly, and it's a nice frame job by the catcher. And Brian McCann catching that ball and leaving it there long enough for Will Little, the home plate umpire, to make the call.
Bring up Avila. Perhaps the Tigers' best scoring chance in the 3rd back-to-back singles by Castellanos and Avila. With nobody out, they fail to score, though. Alex, with his single in the 3rd, snapped an 0 for 15. The 0-1.
Of the total 60 pitches that Eovaldi's thrown in the game, 57% of them have been fastballs. 43% on the slider, the curve, or the splitter that he throws on occasion. Speaking of split-fingered fastballs, how about that splitter that Simon was featuring last night?
It was tumbling out of her picture at times. It was so good. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 2-2 now on Avila. Well, high grades to Dave Dombrowski for this offseason.
Oh, my goodness.
You talked about it during the White Sox series about how they won the offseason with all their acquisitions.
Right.
You cannot find a better group of players that have performed more coming in than the Tigers' new group. Swing and a tip for strike 3. 2 down here in the 5th.
Yeah, you talk about the additions of Shane Green, Anthony Gose,
Cespedes,
Simon.
Two down now for Iglesias, who reached on a fielder's choice in the 3rd. Eovaldi has scattered 5 hits in this contest. It's fouled straight back 0-1.
If you weren't with us earlier, I told you that Eovaldi is one of those guys that you have to get early in the game. His earned run average is right around 6 the very first inning, and it's about 3.5 after that. So he has settled in very nicely here this evening.
The 0-1 pitch. Broken bat roller towards short in the backhand there. Nice play by Drew to throw him out. Tigers go 1-2-3 as Iglesias gets a taste of his own medicine there. Steven Drew, terrific play. And we go to the 6th.
Thrown in the first inning to Teixeira. The result was a double and an RBI for Teixeira, and really Lomstein has settled in. After that, he really hasn't given up a whole lot. A lot of first pitch strikes, and then once he gets ahead, he's been able to expand the strike zone to change up to the righties, break balls to the left-handers, but the Tigers have not been able to figure out Eovaldi here tonight.
Lomstein has thrown 87, 5 innings, 1 run, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. Middle of the lineup coming up. Alex Rodriguez will lead it off. He floats one in for a strike, 0-1.
And Tigers going to have to get someone up in their bullpen just in case. This is the inning that they get to Lomstein. He's approaching 100 pitches.
A-Rod looks at the ball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fly out, pop up for Alex Rodriguez. 0 for 6 in the series. Low, 2-1. Wings have gone to their second intermission of the Joe. Welcome those fans. May have clicked over. Here it's 1-0 Yankees and a wave and a miss by Alex Rodriguez.
Lomstein knows he can't throw a fastball by Alex in a predictable fastball count, so he pulls the string on him, and I mean, this is a beautiful pitch.
Missed it outside. You were talking earlier about how it's going to take a while, you think, for Alex to deal with the off-speed stuff.
Yeah, fastball's no problem, but he's missed basically 2 years. And it's no problem for a guy that can hit a fastball, and Alex can do that, but recognizing the breaking pitches is going to be a little bit more troublesome for him.
Lomstein has put the leadoff man on here.
That's the 4th walk of the evening for Lomstein.
They'll bring a Mark Teixeira.
Tigers do have some activity now down in their bullpen.
Teixeira's been on base twice, double and a walk. His double knocked in a run, the only run. High pop up. Miggy may have room. He does. Teixeira's out.
Yeah, Miggy learned from that pop up earlier in the game, which he overran. And that time he knew the wind was going to push it back. And he was not going to overrun this one.
Teixeira hoping it would get back into the seats. No such luck. Here is Brian McCann. A couple of ground ball outs for McCann. Playing to pull on the infield. The shift on against McCann. Well, they hold the runner at first base, Alex Rodriguez. And a ground ball to second. Kinsler waiting for Iglesias to get there. He does, and a double play. 4-6-3. The Tigers turn 2 again. Kyle Lobstein has given up just 1 run over 6 innings tonight. Sixth inning, Kyle Lobstein has gotten the handshake.
Yeah, it appears that he is done. And Nathan Eovaldi, he is still on the mound. But boy, is he pitching a lot of stress today, but he's been able to get out of it. His defense has turned 3 double plays behind him. And every time the Tigers have had a runner in scoring position, Eovaldi has made the pitch that he has needed to make to get himself out of those jams.
So Eovaldi, 5 innings. 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, only 5 hits, and now he's got to deal with the top of the Tigers lineup here in the 6th inning. Anthony Ghost looks at a ball outside. Ghost 1 out of 2 in this game. Singled in his first at bat. Here's the 1-0. Lifted back out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, this might be the time the Tigers get to Eovaldi. You can see 3rd time through, he yields a batting average of .321.
Goes a wave and a miss.
He's thrown more fastballs the last couple of innings. A lot of breaking balls earlier in the game, but he's been right around 95, 96 with every fastball he's thrown the last couple of innings.
Here's the 1-2. Bouncer right back up the middle. Gotta find a hole. A base hit. Right by Eovaldi into center field. Hey, by the way, you can see the Tigers play the Yankees tomorrow and Thursday and get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 bags of chips, and 4 drinks, all for just $76. It's the weekday value pack. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. Yanks in town for 2 more. All right, here is Kinsler, who was knocked into a double play and popped up. Tigers yet again get the leadoff man on. Done that 4 times tonight.
And Joe Girardi has already pitched out once tonight with Ghost on first base. And there's not a person in this ballpark that doesn't believe that Ghost is going to attempt to steal second. Not attempt to steal second, I should say.
In other words, he's going.
He's going.
Bowser, look at this, right to the shortstop. Flipped to second, one of the relay at double play. Not to be believed. Another twin killing. That's the second one.
Haven't they gotten to their quota today?
Well, Kinsler's knocked into 2 of them. I'd say we're beyond our quota. Cespedes has hit into 1. Here's Cabrera. They're playing Miggy to pull. And a ground ball right into that shift. It's fielded at third by Headley. And Eovaldi's cruising now. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. We cruise to the 7th.
The game, and there are 4 of them. And for Nathan Eovaldi, the starter of the New York Yankees, Tigers have hit into 4 double plays, and that's why they have not put 1 run on the board yet.
Just when they get a runner aboard, all of a sudden a ground ball gets Eovaldi out of the inning. Got a wall side windows pitching change now as the Tigers have gone to the bullpen. That's going to be it for the starter, Labstein. Here comes Ian Kroll.
Well, with all the left-handers that Joe Girardi has in his starting lineup, Brad Ausmus simply going to Ian Kroll, who is pitching well so far this year. 2.70 ERA, fastball anywhere from 94 to 96. Real good curveball. He's got a changeup as well.
Ball 1 to Chris Young. Young, Headley, and Drew here in the 7th. Young batting .300 now. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Outside, 2 balls, no strikes.
He could do nothing while he was playing for the New York Mets, and all of a sudden he puts on the Yankee uniform, and he's performed very well in the role that he's been playing for the Yankees.
That's in there, 2-1.
He's always had a lot of power. And there was a time when he was a really good center fielder.
7 years with Arizona, the first 7 years of his big league career. It'll bounce in, and the count goes to 3-1. Kroll last year appeared in 45 games with the Tigers, made the club out of spring training this year, winning the job, one of the jobs as a left-hander out of the bullpen. Here's the 3-1. Drilled high in the air to left field and deep. Backing up Cespedes. Track, wall, gone into the bullpen. Chris Young has hit his 4th of the year.
And really in limited playing time. He's off to a terrific start, and he's another one of those guys that's on pace for better than 40 homers this year that we were talking about. Real short, quick swing. Four-seam fastball down in the nitro zone of Chris Young. He's in the Tigers bullpen.
Ball 1 to Chase Headley. Big home run makes it a 2-run spread now. Just the 4th hit of the evening for the Yankees. It's low, 2 balls, no strikes. Headley knocked into a double play his last time up. He's 0 for 2. It's way outside, 3-0. So Kroll now has fallen behind each of the first 2 batters, and that's going to bring Alex Avila out to the mound.
Number 24, that's the number that Robinson Cano wore so beautifully for the Yankees when he was playing second base for them.
Three balls, no strikes. How's Cano doing out in Seattle this year? Have you seen?
He's doing okay.
Is he?
Not off to a great start, but he's keeping his head above water.
3-1 on Headley.
Cano's one of those guys you don't worry about. Well, he's going to get it going.
That is for certain. Here's the 3-1. 3-2 on Chase Headley. Waiting on deck, Stephen Drew. Full count pitch. Toward right field, slicing. And JD can't quite get there, foul ball. Yankees got a run in the first, and now they've tacked on 1 here in the 7th. They've lead 2-0, and Eovaldi has scattered 6 hits for the Yanks. Tigers have not been able to score against him. And again, the 3-2. Another foul back out of play. There's a pop-up. This one will stay in play. Kinsler back to the grass. 1 gone. Hey, Saturday Major League Baseball returns to Fox Sports 1, starting with an AL Central battle. The Indians take on the Tigers in a game that can only be seen on Fox Sports 1. Then it's the return of the Subway Series. The Yankees will battle the Mets. Coverage begins at 12:30 Eastern on Fox, on America's home for baseball every Saturday, Fox Sports 1, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Kroll now facing Stephen Drew. And he looks at a ball inside, 1-0. Drew had a single but no damage in the second. Missed outside again. So Kroll living dangerously here, falling behind each of the first 3 hitters. Chris Young got him for a leadoff home run here in the 7th. Drilled to deep right field. Back it goes. Martinez will watch it fly. It's another home run for the Yankees in the 7th.
Yankees been hitting a lot of home runs this year. As a matter of fact, that is now their 20th home run as a team in just 14 games.
A 2-run 7th inning makes it a 3-0 ball game. And once again, Avila will go out to the mound.
Three of the 4 runs the Yankees have scored in the series have come on 3 solo home runs. One by Teixeira, Young, and now Stephen Drew.
It's going to be it for Kroll. He will not be facing Gregorio Petit. Tigers are going to go back in the bullpen as Brad Ausmus comes out. It's already signaled to the pen. The Yankees have picked up homers from Young and Drew here in the 7th. And Kroll gives up the baseball. Wallside Windows pitching change at the ballpark tonight. We'll be back. Nothing contest. Homers by Young and Drew, and Tom Gorsalani coming out of the Tigers pen.
Yeah, Gorsalani last year appeared in 23 games for the Milwaukee Brewers and was outstanding out of their bullpen. 23 strikeouts in the 23 games, and the earned run average was under 1 against Tom.
Gorsalani will face Petit here with 1 out, 2 runs in. Showing bunt, he lays it foul right off of Alex Avila. 0-1 on Gregorio Petit.
And Gregorio has shown us that he will leave the strike zone after he's fallen behind. So if you're Gorsalani, there's really no need in throwing Petit a strike until he proves to you that he'll swing at strikes.
Here's the 0-1. Outside. 1 ball, 1 strike on Petit. I think he'd mind if we called him Greg.
I don't think he'd mind.
I'll stick with Gregorio. It is his name. Here's the 1-1. Pulled foul.
Good changeup, good backdoor breaking ball. Will get a strikeout here.
We often fail to mention Gorsalani is one of the newcomers that has done good work for the Tigers.
Yeah.
Signed him as a free agent January. Really good year with Milwaukee last year. And the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And Tigers going to have to beat the back end of that New York Yankees bullpen today. Andrew Miller and Dylan Betances.
A couple of flamethrowers.
Yeah.
That Yankees bullpen ERA, 3rd best in the American League, coming into play.
And they let Eovaldi off the hook.
Full count, 3-2. Petit waits on the 3-2. Here it is. Bouncer right back to the mound. Gorzelani handles this one. Petit is out, 2 away. That'll bring up the top of the order, Jacoby Ellsbury. They've kept him off the bases so far tonight. Ellsbury is 0 for 3 and now 1 for 7 in the series. Tigers tonight have gone with Lobstein and Kroll and Gorzelani. Ball 1 in. Jacoby Ellsbury. Jacoby is a player that has seen both sides of maybe the most heated rivalry in baseball. Both a member of the Red Sox and the Yankees. Broke in with the Red Sox. Joined the Yankees last year. They used to boo him in the Bronx. Now they cheer him. Hit .271 last year in his first year with the Yanks. 70 RBIs. Brett Gardner waiting on deck. Gorzelani behind 3-0. And he lost him, ball 4. 2 out base on balls keeps the inning going for Brett Gardner. Gardner is 0 for 2. He does have a walk and a run scored. The Yankees got a run in the first on a walk to Gardner and a 2-out double by Mark Teixeira. Here comes Jeff Jones.
And Jonesy buying a little time for Al Albuquerque, who's now up in the Tigers bullpen. And for whatever reason, if Gorzelani does not get and Brett Gardner here, it will be Albuquerque that goes after Alex Rodriguez. Here's our Nissan drives of the game. A couple of solo home runs in this particular inning. One by Chris Young, the right-hander. That one went into the Tigers bullpen. And then Stephen Drew played long ball to right field against the left-hander Ian Kroll. Both home runs hit against Kroll. Tigers bullpen, for the most part, has been really good this year.
They've served up a couple of taters in this one, though, as Gardner steps in.
I guess if you're going to serve them up, though, you want to serve up them solo shots.
And Gorzelani holding the baseball too long. Gardner steps out. Starting to rain again here at the ballpark. It was raining earlier tonight. Then it cleared up. Now the rain is back. The grounds crew is waiting for this half inning to end. They're directly behind home plate with wheelbarrows full of Diamond Dry that they will spread on the field to try and soak up some of the moisture.
Heather Nabosny and her staff keep this field looking really good.
And another toss back to first base. Gorzelani came on to get Petit, and then he walked the next batter, Ellsbury.
Ellsbury has 2 steals this year. He's been caught 3 times. He's 2 of 5.
Rain really coming down pretty good now. And a ball low to Brett Gardner. Looks like the Red Wings have gone up 2-0.
Yeah, good news at the Joe.
Third period of play. They're not dealing with rain at the Joe tonight. Foul straight back, 1 ball and 1 strike. Gardner. Yankees have 3 runs, 5 hits. Tigers no runs on 6 hits. There goes the runner. Here comes a throw from Avila. It's going to be late. And a stolen base, even on the wet track for Jacoby Ellsbury.
Ellsbury stole that bag off Gorzolani. Had a great jump for his 3rd steal of the year. Avila, even though he had a clean exchange and a firm throw down to second, Ellsbury was on his way up when the ball got into Iglesias' his glove.
Two balls, 1 strike on Brett Gardner. The Yankees would love to get another run in here. They've already scored 2 to go up 3-0. Here's the 2-1. Bouncer off the glove of Gorsolani. Kinsler will have no play. Everybody is safe, and that will leave runners at 1st and 3rd. Infield hit for Gardner. No, it's a chance for Alex Rodriguez, but he's not going to face Gorsolani. Here comes Brad Ausmus. Albuquerque has been tuning up just in case we got to A-Rod here, and that's the case. So Gorsolani will face 3 batters, give up the baseball. Tigers go to the bullpen. We'll be back. Nothing. Nathan Eovaldi's done a good job this evening, Rod, for the Yanks.
4 double plays the Tigers have hit into, so you have to give Eovaldi some credit. Anytime the Tigers have had him in the stretch, he has simply made quality pitches against them.
Right now the grounds crew busy putting some diamond dry on the field, trying to dry things up a little bit. The rain has been falling and still does here at the ballpark. Heather Nabosny working overtime tonight, trying to keep the playing conditions as safe as possible. Here's some of the MLB ranks for the Tigers pitching staff. We talked about this earlier in the broadcast tonight. This has been one of the big keys in why Detroit is 11-2.
Yeah, they've pitched very well. They've also defended very well. They've only committed 3 errors all year.
Well, Alex Rodriguez is going to face a new pitcher. That would be Al Albuquerque.
Yeah, you expect a lot of sliders from Albuquerque to Alex Rodriguez.
A-Rod in this ball game is 0 for 2 with a walk. Big spot here. Tigers already down by 3 late. And Avila able to block that one and save a run. 1-0 on A-Rod. Albuquerque last pitch in the Chicago series earlier on this homestand, a scoreless inning. Ellsbury and Gardner on the bases, good speed. There goes Gardner on the run. Ball is high to the backstop. It goes, and a run will score. Gardner will go all the way to third base, and it's 4-0 New York.
Alex went after that breaking ball like he was crossed up, which is odd because there was no runner on second base. It's a breaking ball up, but just his actions look like he was crossed up some kind of way.
It sure did right at the end there.
That's a poor slider thrown there by Albuquerque.
A 3-run seventh. They have Gardner at third now. The count is 2-0 on A-Rod. Way outside, it bounces in, and Avila is doing his best to stop these baseballs coming in from Albuquerque. 3-0, and now Avila is going to go out to the mound. Albuquerque has not been close on any of the first 3 pitches. Three and 1 now on A-Rod. Albuquerque trying to stop the bleeding here. Home runs by Young and Drew. And a ball to the backstop scores another. Low, he walked it. Second walk in this inning by the Tigers bullpen. The other one belongs to Gorsolani. They'll put him at first and third now. Bring up Mark Teixeira as the Yankees send their 8th man to the plate here in this frame. Tigers' ratio this inning has not been good. They've thrown 21 balls and only 14 strikes. And there's another ball low, 1-0. Teixeira waits on the 1-0. Way inside, and Albuquerque just seems way out of sorts here tonight. Another one that made Teixeira move his feet that time.
That's going to get Jeff Jones up and out of the dugout to go out and see exactly what the issue is with Albuquerque tonight.
Don't know if it's the landing spot or if that diamond dry has anything to do with it, the turf at all, but Albuquerque just has been all over the place.
Well, he continues to miss poorly with his slider, so you would think that he would throw a fastball or two to see if he can command that.
More action in the Detroit bullpen right now. Lefty Blaine Hardy is beginning to warm up. Meanwhile, Teixeira is sitting on 2-0. Here it is. He'll take way outside, 3-0. The only man that has not yet hit in this inning is waiting on deck, and that would be Brian McCann. Teixeira takes ball 4. That's going to load the bases. Al just does not have it tonight. Back-to-back walks. And now Brian McCann. Yankees lead it 4-0. They've scored 3 here in the 7th. Will Little, the home plate umpire, goes and chases Avila back behind the dish. It's been a long half inning here for the Tigers. And buying just enough time for Brad to come out and make another change.
That is 4 pitching changes in this inning.
So Albuquerque will face 2 batters. He will walk A-Rod, walk Teixeira, and never really came close on either batter. So we'll step aside once again. Albuquerque is out. Blaine Hardy will be coming in. We'll be back. Sunday.
Yeah, he threw a pitch at about 98 miles an hour behind Brett Laurie, and that got him 5-game suspension.
You knew that was coming. Jonathan Lucroy has been placed on the disabled list. Fractured toe for Milwaukee, and the Astros first place.
That's a tough blow for the Milwaukee Brewers, and they're off to a really, really tough start, as are the Miami Marlins.
So the Yankees trying to bust this one open. They've got the bases loaded. They lead 4-0 here in the 7th. Blaine Hardy has come on now for Detroit.
And 4th game this season for Hardy. He's logged 4 in the 3rd innings. This much I can promise you. Hardy will throw some strikes.
And McCann went after the first one, fouled it back 0-1. 9 men to the plate here in this inning. 3 runs in. Tigers trying to keep this game manageable here. And now Hardy wants Avila to come out to the mound. It's been that kind of inning, folks. We've seen a couple of solo homers. We've seen the Tigers bullpen walk 3 in this frame.
And the wait is already 33 minutes for Nathan Eovaldi, who has started this game for the Yankees and still sitting on that bench.
They are loaded up with Yankees. Gardner, A-Rod, Teixeira, and the 0-1. Ground ball right to the shortstop. Iglesias will win the race to the bag, and that'll end the inning. However, the Yankees scored 3. Coming up, the Dick Scott Automotive 7th inning stretch. April in the D is in high gear right now. The Tigers performing here tonight against the Yankees, down 4-0 as we go to the 7th. The Red Wings leading the Lightning 2-0 over the Joe, and hopefully winning Game 3 in that series. Well, let's see if the Tigers bats can get going now. It'll be Victor Martinez leading it off, then J.D. Martinez, and then Yoenis Cespedes. And it's in there for a strike.
And Eovaldi sat down nearly 40 minutes of that last half inning. And while the Tigers went through 4 pitchers.
4 runs, 6 hits for the Yanks. No runs, 6 hits for Detroit. Uh-oh. There's a big swing there by Victor Martinez, and walking out of that box. We've got a whole lot of armor on. That one came up and got his knee.
Both of them. Right leg and the left knee.
He's got his ankle covered, he's got his shin covered, he's got his instep covered. And it came up and got him in the knee. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. And down goes Martinez, one gone.
And a little breaking ball, bottom of the zone. Got Victor to swing over the top of it. American League pitchers better get Victor right now while he's not quite 100%, because once he gets healthy, and Victor will probably do as he's always done, and that's hit 300, drive in 80 to 90 runs.
That's grounded foul to third base off the bat of J.D. Martinez.
Even though Eovaldi has that big arm and he's got a fastball that has gotten all the way up to 97, at least 40% of his pitches today have been breaking balls.
Tigers pitchers, by the way, threw 41 pitches. The bullpen did in that last half inning. It was a 3-run inning for the Yanks. There's a drive to left field, hit well, and it's going to get down and go to the wall. Extra bases for Martinez. He is in with a double. And a sign of life now for the Tigers offense.
Chevrolet brings you the high-strength steal of the game, and back in the second inning, it was Evalde who stole a line drive base hit that was headed right back up the middle off the bat of Yoenis Cespedes and turned it into a double play. One of 4 double plays the Tigers have hit into tonight.
So here is Cespedes. 0 for 2 overall. Tigers have just picked up their 7th hit.
That ball was hit like a rocket off the bat of J.D. Martinez.
That's in for a strike.
There's really not a Tiger these days that makes a louder sound as far as that ball coming off their bat as J.D. Martinez.
And that's saying something.
Oh, right.
Considering the guys in this lineup, including this guy here, Cespedes. On the outside corner, 0-2.
It's a good fastball there thrown by Evalde away from his arm side, 95 on the black. You can't do a whole lot with this one.
J.E. going to try to get to third, and he will. That ball was in the dirt. McCann couldn't stop it. So get Martinez to third base. Wild pitch charged to Evalde.
It's a breaking ball down that McCann's able to get glove on, but not able to smother and keep in front of him. And J.D. Martinez got a little bit of a late break, and he wanted to make sure that he could make it down by 4 runs.
One and 2 on Cespedes. Drilled on a line to center field and caught. That'll get a run in. That is the second absolute rocket that Cespedes has hit tonight.
He's got tremendous bat range. I mean, he climbed the ladder and he hit this ball right on the screws, and he hit it so square that when it got to center field, it was knuckling on Jacoby Ellsbury. He did all that he could do just to catch it. Look at Cespedes climb the ladder and hit an absolute seed to center field. And that thing is knuckling all the way into center field. Jacoby's like, whoa.
4-1 ball game. Tigers get on the board. Base is empty now for Castellanos. One ball to no strikes. Nick. 1 out of 2 tonight with a single. Martinez and Cespedes teaming up for a run here. The wild pitch looming large. Here's the 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes. 9-game hitting streak now for Castellanos, who started the season a little bit slowly offensively, but he's really come on.
That batting average is up over 300 and 304 to be exact.
That's it for a strike, 2-1. Casti didn't like it.
Evalde still throwing hard. 83 pitches in. Fastball still in the mid-90s.
The 2-1. Low and away, 3-1. Should he reach? Avila due next. The 3-1 pitch is fouled back out of play. Castellanos had a good swing at it. 3-2 now on Nick. Action in the New York bullpen. Martin, the right-hander, is warming up. I mentioned the Yankees bullpen has been third best in the American League coming into play. Eovaldi now at 85 pitches. The 3-2. High fly ball right field. Going to be playable for Chris Young. And the inning is over. Tigers get a run back. Double wild pitch and a sac fly. Tigers all season long in 2015 with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At bat is up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, and more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or your tablets.
It must be getting a little chilly down there. Iglesias has got the ski mask on.
It has gotten cooler and cooler as we've gone on tonight. Of course, we've had a couple of bouts of rain as well. The temperature now in the low 40s. Here's Chris Young, who homered off Ian Kroll back in the 7th. And Young looks at strike one as we start the 8th. 2 home runs in that 7th inning, both solo shots given up by the Tigers pen. The 0-1 pitch is inside. 1 ball and 1 strike on Young.
The Yankees have 21 homers as a team, so they've hit quite a few first 14 games of the year.
High fly ball into shallow center field. Late break for Ghost. Can't quite get there. It's going to drop in. Young is on his way to second, and he'll pull in safely. Leadoff double.
Anthony Ghost was fooled on the swing taken by Chris Young. And it took a couple of steps back, and then he couldn't recover enough and to come in and make a play, even though he has that blazing speed.
So the Yankees trying to get that run back. They gave up in the bottom of the 7th. Here is Chase Headley. Ball 1 to Headley. Tigers used Kroll, Gorzolani, Albuquerque, and Hardy all in the 7th inning.
Well, we talked about it a little bit earlier in the game. And the fact that David Price is pitching tomorrow. And really no problem for Brad to dip into that bullpen as much as he needs to tonight, because David is going to go 8 tomorrow. And if he doesn't, it's usually rare when he doesn't go 8, 9 innings.
Final from the Joe, 3-0 Red Wings. And they've gone up 2-1 in that series against the Lightning.
He just got to score.
Game 4 Thursday at the Joe. Here's the 2-1. 3 balls, 1 strike on Headley.
You going to head over there on Thursday?
No, I just might do that. Here's the 3-1. And he lost it, ball 4. So a double and a walk greeting Hardy here in the 8th inning. The base on balls from the Tigers bullpen tonight. They've been an issue.
Yep, they have been. And we really have not said that much this year.
That is 4 walks for the Tigers pen. Lobstein had 4 walks of his own, so 8 total tonight by Detroit pitching.
The Yankees have always been known as a team that will take a lot of pitches and work some counts, regardless of their personnel.
Here is Stephen Drew. Strike 1. Home run for Drew back in the 7th. He's had a good night tonight, 2 out of 3. Each ball club this evening, 7 hits. Now the 0-1. Price tomorrow evening will be opposed by Adam Warren in Game 3. Then it's Sanchez and Tanaka on Thursday to round out the series. And the Indians come a-calling. That's outside, 2-1. Drew's home run back in the 7th inning was his 4th already this season. Young also hit his 4th. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Popped him up. Right side of the infield for Ian Kinsler. One out. Well, we have a chance. Let's check in with Johnny Kane.
Hey, Mario, coming up on a post-game edition of Tigers Live. I'll be catching up with Kyle Lobstein. Really had a heck of a game here today. Had a nice start. Gave up the 1 run in the first, but was able to settle in. Of course, we'll hear from Brad Ausmus from the manager's press conference. But Craig Monroe and Justin White are going to get us started at the Brush Fire Grill here inside the stadium. Again, that's coming up on a Tigers Live post-game edition. But we still got more baseball to play here, guys.
Hey, Johnny, how chilly is it down there?
Not as bad as it was when we about 3 innings ago.
With the rain falling. All right, we look forward to Johnny Kane and the post-game show coming up. He'll be working the locker room for the Tigers.
And Johnny all bundled up. Got his trench coat up, collar up, scarf on.
I do not blame him. Here's Petit with 2 on and 1 out. Pickoff throw. Ooh, it was close.
It sure was. And they nearly caught Chris Young napping at second base. He was spinning his wheels when he tried to get his footing initially to get back.
Young started the inning with a bloop double to center, then a walk to Headley. See if the Tigers can get one of those ground ball double plays. Is low and in. 1 ball, 1 strike on Gregorio Petit, the former Houston Astro. Strike called up with the right hand goes Will Little. 1-2. Top of the order, lurking on deck, Jacoby Ellsbury. Here's the 1-2. Got him. Strike three. Petit says, oh, he can't believe it. Doesn't matter. Will Little says you're out. 2 gone.
And Petit has been very aggressive all night long, chasing a lot of balls out of the strike zone, but he takes a couple of fastballs with runners in the scoring position to get called out on strikes.
The lower reaches of the strike zone. Here's Ellsbury now. And Jacoby looks at the ball low. Ellsbury had a walk, a steal, and a run scored. The only time he's been on base tonight, that was back in the 3-run 7th. Fouled back to the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, they got one of the flamethrowers warming up in the bullpen, do the Yankees. That would be Dylan Betances. He is heating up.
He was spectacular last year in his first year in the big leagues. He struggled a lot this year so far in spring training and hasn't gotten off to a great start.
See if that stays in play. Castellanos heading toward the railing. Back out of play, right behind the dugout. And those fans that have stuck around tonight, one of them rewarded with a foul ball. Despite the chilly temps, and a nice catch apparently as well. Wow. That even got a round of applause from Castellanos. Here's the 1-2. Popped him up. It's going to get him out of the jam as Iglesias hauls it in and the sign retired. Nothing comes of the double and the walk. Here comes the bottom of the 8th.
First inning, that was Mark Teixeira doubling down in the right field corner, plating Brett Gardner, and that was the only run they scored to the 7th. A couple of solo shots, one by Chris Young, the other one by Stephen Drew, and a wild pitch by Al Albuquerque. That gave them the 4th run, and then the Tigers got 1 run after a double off the bat of J.D. Martinez and a sacrifice fly off of the bat of Yoenis Cespedes.
So we go back to work now here at the bottom of the 8th inning. It is 4-1 in favor of the Yankees. And it'll be Alex Avila starting things off.
And anybody gets on, more than likely, Joe Girardi will go to his bullpen and bring in Dylan Betances.
In the meantime, Eovaldi is still out there to begin things in the 8th, and he misses outside. 2-0 on Avila.
I said Betances had struggled this year. That's not the case. He struggled in spring training. He has not struggled since the season has began.
And Alex looks at strike one on the outer edge.
Eovaldi still throwing hard.
No kidding, man. 96. 4-7-0 for the Yanks. 1-7-0 for the Tigers. Here's the 2-1.
Eovaldi's first 2 starts of the year, he had made it past the 6th inning. He's into the 8th now.
Avila hammers another one back out of play. Avila's average is only 208 this year, but his on base percentage is 406. He is trying to get aboard here in the bottom of the 8th, down by 3.
Yeah, Alex has walked 8 times this year.
Two foul back. He's making Eovaldi work.
Eovaldi throwing a lot more fastballs here last couple of innings than he did earlier in the game.
The last one reaching 97. And he missed outside. Full count now, 3-2.
He doesn't quite have the same feel with his split-fingered fastball as the Tiger starter Alfredo Simon.
Drilled toward left field. Gardner's going to turn on it, and it's up against the wall. Avila motoring to second base. The throw is late. It's a double to start the 8th for the Tigers.
Let's see what Girardi does here.
He's made up his mind, apparently. Here he comes. That's going to be it for Eovaldi, who allows the leadoff 2-base hit to Avila. We'll see if that gets the Tigers offense jump started now. A 2-base hit. That is the second double they've had in the last 2 innings.
Well, the guy that just left was featuring a fastball in the mid-90s all night long. And the guy on the mound now, Dylan Betances, he's got a fastball that will get up in the upper 90s as well.
Numbers on Eovaldi to this point. He is responsible for the runner at second base. And while we have a chance, let's check in with Justin White and Simo.
All right, Mario, thanks. Well, Craig, I don't think the Tigers are too sad to see Nathan Eovaldi leave this game. You were just talking about how impressive he was for the Yankees tonight.
No, he was really impressive, J-Dub. He really had thrown that real good fastball. He was hitting all 4 quadrants of the strike zone. But when he got into trouble, if you notice, he changed his repertoire. He started to go to that breaking ball, expanding that zone, getting some Tigers to swing and miss, induced a lot of ground balls. But, again, it all had to do with Eovaldi. He had his best night for me tonight.
Yeah, he certainly pitched well, Craig, but it's not like the Tigers haven't had their chances. The double play ball tonight has been an absolute killer.
Well, again, when you're commanding the strike zone with that fastball, and it's a good fastball, 95, 96 mile per hour fastball, it starts to speed you up a little bit when you're in that batter's box, and then he was able to slow these guys down. Again, he established a good fastball on the inside part, and then when he went to the secondary pitches, simply guys were rushing out front, and I saw a lot of front shoulders flying out. I'm going to tip my hat to Eovaldi today. He did an outstanding job.
We will have much more with Craig Monroe coming up on Tigers Live right after the game. But for now, Mario and Ron, back up to you guys.
All right, Justin, thanks. We look forward to it. In the meantime, here are the numbers on Dellin Betances.
Yeah, they thought that he was going to be their closer, but that is not the case. Andrew Miller, who they signed to a 4-year contract as a free agent, has gotten the majority of the saves of the Yankees.
So Betances now will go to work against Iglesias. And he popped him up. First base side for Teixeira. 1 pitch and 1 out.
Iglesias helped out Betances there with a 94-mile-per-hour fastball that was not a strike.
One gone. That'll bring up Gose. Betances 135 strikeouts last season. And that was a franchise record for a reliever. Big Mo, Mariano Rivera, held the record at 130. And Betances pours in a fastball, 1 ball, no strikes on Anthony Gose. A 1.40 ERA last year for Betances in 70 appearances. Strike call, 1-1. How about this? Betances goes 6'8", 265.
Can't teach size. Some big old pitchers in this series already, the first 2 days. CC Sabathia, 6'7". Alfredo Simon, 6'6". Betances is a big fella, and so is Nathan Eovaldi. There's big CC.
2-1 on Gose. Chopper foul, 2-2 on Anthony. Betances last appeared on Sunday in Tampa, 1 2/3 scoreless innings. He had 1 save last year, was 5-0 out of the bullpen for a Joe Girardi. Dellin Betances. Yankees trying to hold on to this 4-1 lead. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Swing and a miss. Awkward swing there by Gose. And there are 2 gone. Betances gets his first strikeout.
And when you got a guy that's throwing in the mid-90s, you have to cheat for the fastball if you're going to catch up to it. And that's exactly what Gose did there. And then he was not able to recognize the spin on the breaking ball, and he swung on a ball that bounced for strike 3. But you have to respect guys that have big arms like Betances does.
That'll bring up Ian Kinsler. He's hitting 2 double plays tonight. And Bender that drops in 0-1.
Tigers have hit into 7 double plays in the first 2 games of the series, and they've hit into 17 total this year, which is tied for first with the Baltimore Orioles. So a lot of twin killings already for Tigers bats.
Dropped in another, now it's 0-2. Nathan Eovaldi looking on right now, hoping Betances can slam the door here in the 8th.
And Eovaldi, you have to give him credit. He made the pitches that he needed to make. And when there was runners on base.
Ian Kinsler, by the way, has 10 2-strike hits this year, which is tied for the most in the majors. He's behind here 1 and 2.
That sounds like some of Victor Martinez's work.
Yeah, no doubt. Miggy waiting on deck. Swing and a miss. Betances. He made it look easy. A pop-up, 2 strikeouts on a couple of awkward swings, and we go to the 9th. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. When it's time, come to Comerica. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows, we can do that. We are the factory. So we go to the ninth. Here in Detroit, 4-1 is the score. Yanks on top, trying to even up this series.
Starting to rain again.
Oh, wonderful. It's been on and off all night long. Blaine Hardy goes back to work here in the ninth inning. You really, Rod, have to hand it to the fans here that have stuck around in this weather tonight.
Tigers have great fans, and they're hoping that their team can come back with another really nice victory here tonight.
There's a ground ball base hit to right field as Brett Gardner starts off the ninth with a single. It's his second hit in this ball game. He's going to bring up Alex Rodriguez. Fans are still booing him.
They are, and he hadn't done nothing in the series.
He has a base on balls, and that's it.
He's going to get that wherever he goes.
A-Rod batting .273 now. Swing and a miss.
Good change up there thrown by Blaine Hardy. Straight change. Alex was thinking that he was going to get a fastball. He was trying to hit it out the ballpark. Totally fooled on the arm speed by Blaine Hardy on that last pitch.
Changeup's all about the arm speed, isn't it?
It is. That's how you sell it.
A-Rod does have a couple of walks in this game. That time a little bit closer as Gardner gets back. Gardner has 4 steals in 5 attempts this year.
They've got a couple of guys at the top of their batting order that have a 40 steal potential in Ellsbury and Gardner.
0-2.
A-Rod gonna hurt his back. Swing at that changeup.
Mark Teixeira will be next. We're in the ninth, 4-1 Yankees. High fly ball left field, hit pretty good. Cespedes going back to the track in front of the wall to make the catch. Gardner tags up, he'll move up.
He threw A-Rod another changeup, and Alex stayed back about as long as he could wait on the changeup and nearly hit it out.
Alex Rodriguez 0 for 3 tonight. That'll bring up Mark Teixeira. Got the Yankees their first run with a double to knock one in back in the first inning. Tigers' only run coming in the 7th. There's a strike called on Teixeira. The home team will have the middle of the lineup coming up. Cabrera, Martinez when we get to the bottom of the 9th. Critical for Hardy to strand that runner at second. Oh, 2 on Teixeira. Here's the 0-2. Oh, got him, strike 3. Hardy with a strikeout.
That's a well-located fastball there thrown by Hardy at 88 miles an hour. On the inside, Black froze Mark Teixeira.
That will leave it up to Brian McCann. Ball 1. Each ball club tonight with 8 hits. The Yankees have had better scoring chances. They've stranded 9 in this game. McCann is 0 for 4. Strike called, 1-1. Hardy ready with the 1-1 pitch. Here it is. Ground ball to third, right under the glove of Castellanos. That'll get another run in. Gardner comes around to score, and the Yankees lead 5-1. Hard hit ball off the bat of Brian McCann. Back up to a 4-run lead now for the Yanks. And here's Chris Young. Young backs away from ball one. Hardy came out of the 7th inning, is still out there here in the 9th. The Tigers have gone deep into their pen tonight. 1 ball, 1 strike. They've charged Castellanos with an error, so no RBI for McCann. And that is only the 4th error of the season for the Tigers, and that ball was hit like a bullet. The 1-1. Fouled away. 1 ball, 2 strikes now on Chris Young, whose home run greeted Ian Kroll back at the 7th and gave the Yankees a 2-0 lead at that point. 7th inning has turned out to be the big inning in this game because it gave the Yankees some breathing room. Angel Nesbitt warming up. Low as Avila blocks it. Here's the 2-2. Did he go? Appeal. Negative. Jerry Davis peeking through his ski mask down there at first base, said he did not go. There's the Yankee bullpen. Martin and Miller. Runner will go on 3-2. And it's fouled away.
Andrew Miller really picked the right time to have a stellar second half of the season, didn't he, last year going into his free agent year?
Boy, you speak the truth on that. No doubt about it.
He parlayed into a bunch of Benjamins, man.
4-year contract. He'll be a Yankee through 2018. And he walked him.
Oh, that's the 9th walk of the night.
Oh. Lobstein, tonight's starter, had 4, but Rod, he did a pretty good job of pitching around some of those
He
walks.
did. When he left the game, I mean, he left the Tigers in pretty good shape. The score was only 1-0.
Yeah, that's when things happened in the 7th against the bullpen. Here's Chase Headley. Headley had a walk in his last at bat, and he straightens up on a ball high, 1-0. (5-1). Yankees have the lead. We're in the 9th. (1-1) on Headley. So Hardy, since coming on, has now thrown 41 pitches as Stephen Drew waits on deck. Lengthy outing for Blaine tonight. Popped up. Should end the inning as Kinsler goes to the grass. And that is that. However, the Yankees get 1 more run as we go to the bottom of the 9th. The Tigers have the heavy artillery coming up. It'll be Miggy Victor Martinez, and then J.D. Martinez.
Time, and it is brought to you by Miller Lite. Chris Young did not start the ball game last night, but got to start tonight against Lomstein. Didn't do much against Lomstein, but he got Ian Kroll in the 7th for a solo shot, his 4th of the year.
So the Tigers down to their final swings now. And a couple of home runs in this ball game for the Yanks, helping lead the way. We have a new pitcher now. Chris Martin will take over.
And Martin checks in with an ERA just a shade over 3 in 7 prior games, logging 5 2/3 innings. He has 7 strikeouts, and he's only walked 1. He's a big boy, too. Looks like he's about 6'5", 6'6".
And he's not taking a back seat, is he?
Goodness gracious.
He is out of the Rockies organization. The Yankees acquired him from Colorado in January.
Yankees like him big, don't they?
They do indeed. Vivaldi, Betances,
CC.
Martin here in the 9th. Cabrera, Martinez. 5-1 New York. And Cabrera looks at a strike, 1-1.
And they got some guys out there that got some high octane velocity with their fastballs. Martin 95 with his heater. We know Betances is 95 and above, and so is Andrew Miller.
Back in 2004, the Tigers actually drafted Chris Martin. It was in the 18th round of the 04 draft, but he did not sign. Went on to play at McLennan Community College. He is a native of Arlington, Texas, still lives there. And I assume a Rangers fan growing up. The 2-1. 2-2 now on Miguel. Miggy a single and 3 at bats tonight, 1 for 3. Cabrera came into this game 2nd in the American League in hits. Got him, strike 3. Cabrera caught looking and has a look back and a few words for Will Little. 1 away. Here is the upcoming matchup presented by Gordon Chevrolet, and tomorrow we will be treated to Adam Warren and David Price.
Well, Adam Warren knows that he's going to have to pitch the game of his life if he's going to beat the Tigers with David Price on the mound. Price has been sensational. He's won 1 game. The ERA is under 1, and he has 20 strikeouts already, and he's walked 5.
David Price has been magnificent. Here is Victor Martinez. He'll slide one foul back out of play, 0-1. 3 straight strikeouts now for the Yankees bullpen. We mentioned they came into play in this series 3rd in the American League in ERA, the bullpen did. Here's the 0-1.
And the Yankees are apparently trying to build one of those bullpens like the Kansas City Royals had last year.
Flamethrowers?
Yeah.
From the 6th inning on. Here's the 1-1. It is somewhat of a luxury when you can bring guys out of the bullpen late in the games that can miss bats.
95 and above. And not only do they throw hard, but those guys in Kansas City Royals bullpen, those guys all had real nice secondary pitches. Holland, Davis, and Herrera.
Here's the 2-1. 2-2 now on Victor Martinez. They put Holland on the DL?
He is on the disabled list.
So that probably means Wade Davis is closing games now.
Correct.
Of course, Herrera, as we mentioned earlier tonight, Kelvin Herrera has been given a 5-game suspension.
Yeah, don't know if he's going to appeal it or not, but sooner or later he's going to have to serve it.
2-2 on Victor. Swing and a miss. Well, we can say this: the Tigers have had some awkward swings against the back end of this bullpen. Matanzas,
right?
And now Martin. 2 up, 2 down. So here is J.D. Martinez, the Tigers' last chance here. It's been a good night for J.D. He's singled, he's doubled, he has scored their only run. Strike one in the outer edge on J.D. If the Yankees win this game, they will have done so by stranding 11 runners on base, or despite stranding 11 runners on base.
Not usually a recipe for success, but up until this point, it's worked for them.
The 0-1. Bouncing in, 1 ball, 1 strike. Lobstein's still on the bench. He was pretty good tonight, giving the Tigers some strong work. Gave up just the 1 run over 6 innings. Sidestepped a couple of walks. Got a couple of ground ball double plays. 2-1. Should this game continue, Cespedes is waiting on deck. 4 straight strikeouts for the Yankees bullpen. Line drive to left. It's going to continue. That's a 3-hit game for J.D. Two-out single. So here is Cespedes, who hit the stuffings out of the baseball in his last at bat and got a sacrifice fly, but it was more of a laser line drive to center. A 5-1 lead. They'll play behind the runner at first base. Ball 1. Yoenis now with 12 RBIs and has knocked in the only Tigers run to this point. He leads the team with 12 driven in. Martin's 1-0. Yanked. Fair. Inside the bag at third base. He'll go to the corner. J.D. coming to third. They're going to stop him there, and the Tigers showing a little bit of 2-out life here in the ninth.
That's a breaking ball that is down that Cespedes is fooled on, but he gets out in front of it, and somehow he's able to keep that ball fair right inside the third base bag.
Barely. And so Yoenis has forced Joe Girardi to go get Andrew Miller. 5th double of the season for Yoenis Cespedes. And so Miller will come in now to try and get the final out. He'll be facing Nick Castellanos.
Miller, former #1 draft choice of the Detroit Tigers, and he was traded to the Marlins. And for Miguel Cabrera, he was one of the 6 players that was traded to the Florida Marlins at that time. Here is the 1-800 call Sam call of the game. It happened back in the 7th inning.
Drilled to deep right field. Back it goes. Martinez will watch it fly. It's another home run for the Yankees in the 7th.
Yankees been hitting a lot of home runs this year. As a matter of fact, that is now their 20th home run as a team in just 14 games.
Big home run for the Yankees. It was the 4th of the year for Stephen Drew. And right now the Yanks trying to hold on to their 5-1 lead. They've called on their closer Andrew Miller, who will come on and try and get the final out here in the 9th inning.
Not many left-handed closers in the game of baseball, but Miller is one. And he went into spring training this year, and they weren't sure whether it would be he or Betances who was the closer. But Betances struggled in spring training. Miller pitched well, therefore he's the closer. He's converted all 4 of his save opportunities this year, and his strikeouts to walks ratio is superb. It looks like, Mario, he's picking up right where he left off last year.
Well, I will say this, Rod. The last time the Tigers saw Miller, he was wearing an Orioles uniform in the ALDS, and he threw 3 1/3 hitless innings.
Oh, he was dealing.
Now he will face Castellanos.
Tigers actually thought they had a deal in place for Andrew Miller on July 31st at the same time that they were acquiring David Price. They also had a deal for Andrew Miller, but somehow, some way, the Baltimore Orioles were able to convince. Where was he at? Boston before that? Where was he at? I'm trying to think of where he was.
I believe it was Boston. Yes, it was Boston.
Convinced Boston that their package was better than the Tigers.
Can you imagine if the Tigers had Miller down the stretch?
They had him. They almost had him.
0-1. And Castellanos. That'll get back out of play 0-2. Tigers need one more base runner to bring the tying run to the plate. And if Castellanos reaches, Rajay Davis has moved to the on-deck circuit. But it's 0-2 on Nick. Missed it outside.
Miller used to be one of those guys that had a lot of moving parts in his delivery, whether it be out of the windup or the stretch, but he's gone to a simpler version. In the last couple of years, it's just allowed him to take his game to a whole nother level.
You mentioned that trade that he was involved in for Miguel Cabrera. The names going the other way: Dallas Traherne, Burke Badenhop, Frankie De La Cruz. Cam Maben, of course, was a big-time prospect. And Mike Rabello, along with Andrew Miller. And I guess you could make the argument that probably Miller has turned out the best of that bunch.
He really has, but he really was not pitching all that well for Florida at the time of the trade.
Yeah, unfortunately for the Marlins, it was with another team that Miller has blossomed. Did he go? No, he did not. We're still kicking. Oh, that was close.
And that deal that Dave Dombrowski made will simply go down as one of the best deals ever made in Tigers history. And getting a potential Hall of Fame player, Miguel Cabrera, for 6 other bodies.
Oh, Miller thought he had him.
Yeah, he was walking to the dugout.
Here's the 2-2. just off the plate, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Well, you put Castellanos out, and who knows? Rajai waiting on deck.
Tigers have seen 4 pitchers here today. The Yankees have thrown at them, and all 4 have had fastballs of 96 miles an hour and above.
Three and 2. He walked him, and that's going to load the bases. 3 straight base runners with 2 outs.
Well, Tigers do have a player on their bench that has some power in James McCann. I'm not saying that Rajai doesn't have power, but McCann probably has more power, but Brad Ausmus wants to go with Rajai here. And they need a grand slam to tie the game.
They do need a grand slam, and it was Rajai that hit one against the A's last year. It was a walk-off grand slam.
And first walk-off hit for Rajai Davis in his life.
Ball 1. 3 grand slams in Rajai's career, 362 lifetime with the sacks full. He was looking bleak with 2 strikeouts here in the 9th, then single double walk. Way outside, 2-0.
We have watched this team for a couple of weeks now, and they don't quit at all. They're in every game.
Well, they are trying to give the fans that have stuck with them tonight through the chilly weather something to cheer about here in the 9th. "5-1 Yankees lead, bases are loaded, 2 outs. Here's the 2-0. Way outside. 3 balls, no strikes. Davis has not taken the bat off his shoulder.
And he might not take it off of his shoulder, at least for the next 2 strikes, if Miller's able to throw the ball over the plate.
Here's the strike, 3-1. Well, you never know. That's why Joaquin Soria is starting to throw. You've got to consider that Miller was 0-2 on Castellanos, ended up walking him. Now the 3-1. And that's going to bounce in and right back to Miller.
What did that hit? That hurt McCann.
Knee. It's going to force in a run. Apparently that's ball 4. It hits something. Now they're going to come out to take a look at McCann. Scored J.D. Martinez. Now it's 5-2.
Ooh, that got wrist.
That's not good.
And Steve Donahue, long athletic trainer for the New York Yankees, out to take a look at him with Joe Girardi. 37 years for Steve Donahue.
A long time.
Yeah.
All right, well, it's 5-2 now.
Good gig if you can get it.
Here's Iglesias. Miller has walked 2 since coming on. And he goes ball 1 to Iglesias.
And the outfielders for the New York Yankees are playing very shallow. And even though Iglesias does not have a lot of power, if he can find a gap somewhere, Rajai Davis is going to score from first.
Strike called. Nobody warming up right now for the Yankees in their bullpen, so they've got their best out there right now, so they're just going to ride Miller here, win or lose. There is James McCann waiting on deck. Goes his spot due next. Will they get it to him? Fouled away, now it's 1-2 on Iglesias. No quit in the Tigers tonight. They've got the tying runs on here with 2 outs in the 9th.
Jose tonight is 0 for 3. Swing and a foul tip for strike 3, and that will end the ball game. So the Tigers mount a rally here in the 9th. They will fall short, leave the bases loaded. The Yankees even up the series, beating the Tigers here tonight by a score of 5-2. We'll be back to Comerica Park in a moment.